Nerlens Noel got bought out, which is low-key a little rare for a guy who has a team option on his contract. But according to Adrian Wojnarowski, Nerlens Noel has been bought out and he could sign with any team. 3 weeks ago, we heard the Philadelphia 76ers were interested. We heard the Dallas Mavericks were interested. We know the Golden State Warriors are still looking for front court help. They could be a player. And the Miami Heat did sign Cody Zeller, but he's on, I believe, a non-guaranteed deal. So if they want to trade out Cody Zeller for Nerlens Noel, now Nerlens Noel is going to go for a championship team, a contender is the very least we could see. And in my opinion, I personally believe that Nerlens Noel is a good rim runner, a really good rim protector. He's a guy who could set screens, easily be a guy who could play 20 minutes a night and average 7 and 7 with a block a game. Okay. And for me, Nerlens Noel, he's gonna have a myriad of choices to choose from, and I think he's gonna be a guy who's going to be compensated how he should be compensated for his services. And I this offseason, I think, I mean, he's already been compensated once, but in terms of being compensated again. So I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this and why?
Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted that Nerlens Noel and the Detroit Pistons have just agreed to a buyout. I just got off my on-campus job, as you guys know. Work here on campus. Oh, look at that blemish. It looks terrible. It should be gone by tomorrow. Either way, Nerlens Noel got bought out. And we know the Dallas Mavericks were super interested in bringing him back. We also knew that the Clippers wanted to bring him in, but they got Mason Plumlee instead. So that leaves as the Dallas Mavericks. We heard some rumblings of the Toronto Raptors, but they got Jakob Poeltl as well. And for me, there's a fucking bus. But for me, I personally believe that when you look at the situation, Dallas Mavericks are the front runners on the list, in my opinion. That team needs a guy like Nerlens Noel. And I personally see that being the team with the best situation for him. Now, the next best situation is probably the Miami Heat, who, yes, they just signed themselves Kevin Love, and goddamn, they did not sign Serge Ibaka. They signed Kevin Love, and they signed another big guy, okay? And I can't even remember who the other big guy was. You probably will hear me say it in the beginning of the video, but Kevin Love and whoever else they signed, the Miami Heat's a good team because they need a guy like Nerlens behind them. So, I mean, that's always an option right there. I just think Nerlens still a guy who's a good rim runner, a good screener, an elite rim protector when given the minutes. What's interesting about, and I might have mentioned this earlier in the video because this is the end of the video, is the fact that Nerlens Noel had a team option. It wasn't like he was an expiring contract. So it brings up an interesting point to the fact that when you look at this, typically you don't buy out players who are on, who have a deal that has multiple years left. So I wonder if Nerlens just waived his option to get out. He's going to sign with a playoff contender, and I could see him going to the West. Phoenix is another team. They're trying to get as many players. I doubt Brooklyn. I don't think Brooklyn. Milwaukee could be into him, but they just got Myles Leonard, and I think they're pretty cool with that. Now, I think it's definitely interesting to look at the situation and to, oh, you know who the Miami Heat signed? Cody Zeller. It was Cody Zeller. And I probably mentioned that in the beginning of the video, but Cody Zeller. So Nerlens would be an upgrade over Cody Zeller. Portland's another team that I could see Nerlens Noel. Like, imagine Joseph Nurkic and Nerlens Noel. No offense to Drew Eubanks. Love me some Drew Eubanks. Hey, if they were able to keep Drew Eubanks and Nerlens Noel next year in this offseason, get rid of Nurkic, I would do that. Because Drew Eubanks and Nerlens Noel would be cheaper than Nurkic and Noel. Now, yeah, I really think you look, because right here, you got to find a team. I think Dallas, Portland, Miami, both LA teams have their guys. Milwaukee, they got their guys. Like, Miami's already unlikely due to the fact that they got themselves Cody Zeller and Kevin Love. and they don't have roster spaces. So it's really the Dallas Mavericks, which I think is definitely really interesting to think about, because you look at this situation and you think that, like, damn, okay, if you wanted to do this, how do you get yourself the opportunity to utilize Nerlens? Like, how many minutes is he going to play? I mean, that's between 15, 25, depending. You're looking at him as a backup center, not as an actual option. So I do think that's where it gets a bit interesting when you think about it. So, I mean, hey, let me know your thoughts. And I'm a head out because I'm almost back home. But yeah, let me know. Oh, peace. Oh.